Hey there, guys. This is Flamzeron, aka YouTube's Tasuke. I just watched an anime called Riddle Story of Devil, like about a couple of weeks ago or so, if I'm remembering correctly. But I figured I should review it, cause that's what I do. Nah, but I was originally interested in it because it seemed like or it was kind of. I don't want to say marketed because I don't know if marketed is like a fair term. But basically, I was under the impression that it was at the very least, a shoujo ai. Like, I don't know about full on Yuri, but it was definitely a shoujo ai. And after watching it, I can definitely say it's probably more shoujo ai than Yuri. If anything, the lesbianism is kind of minor. But and I was interested in it, and Funimation picked it up, and of course that meant it wasn't on Crunchyroll. I actually watched the entire thing on Hulu. I don't have a paid Hulu account, and I don't do the ad-free thing either, so I just dealt with the ads. It's not that big a deal. But that's where I watched it, and in decent quality. I don't have Hulu Plus, so I mean it's obviously not going to be in HD. But and this anime is a bit old, but it did recently get a dub. Finally, Funimation's been lately kind of known for licensing stuff, then leaving it alone, then finally being, oh yeah, we have a thing, and then dubbing it and putting it on DVD. So, yeah. Uh, Basically, it's a story about this blue-haired chick you see in the center with the knives and whatnot. Her name is Totaku Azuma. I think it's Tokaku. I just call her Azuma, just because it's a cooler sounding name in my opinion. And she's an assassin and shit, and she does assassin-y things. And she's been sent to this academy and to take part in this class Black, and the goal is to assassinate this one girl, the girl named Haru, who you see standing to her right, I'd say, the one with the vest. And so that's like the big goal. But basically, Ozma's all like, I don't want to do that. I want to protect her. But the problem is, she's obviously not the only student, and the class is basically filled with like different assassins and with like expertise and skills in different things, and so they're all trying to kill Haru, and she wants to graduate. She wants to, her goal is to like graduate and make it out alive and survive. They kind of imply that she's either gone through something like this before, or she kind of knows what's going on. People have targeted her before, so but and so yeah, there are different characters who are also assassins. The one you see on the left is probably one of my favorites. Her name is Neo. She's the one who lasts the longest, besides Haru and Azuma. And it turns out she's also like some big coordinator, and she's like really nice to Haru and whatnot, and all that beautiful stuff. The only person who isn't really aware of anything is like their teacher, who's voiced by Takehiro Sakurai. I was kind of hoping they would have done like a big thing where like it turns out he was like in the know and like he's actually a super master assassin. I think that would have been cool. I feel like. Plus, I felt like it would have been interesting because I felt like they kind of pitied him a little bit. They being like the students who are assassins, they kind of pitied him a little bit in a way, since he's like, oh, that's so cute, he don't know shit. But that'd be funny. Like, no, I actually do know shit, and like he pulls out like a machete and like decapitates everybody. It has a big battle with Azuma. That'd be cool. Or that would have been cool. But yeah, I say it has like, it's like a shoujo ai. I feel like it also kind of has some shonen elements to it as well, from the standpoint of like the progressing episode arc, because like each episode, with the exception of like a couple that go on for an extra, it's a very episodic series, in that each episode is kind of just Azuma and Haru trying to defeat the next assassin that wants to kill Haru. They have this weird thing where like these weird rules where like you have to send an advance notice and you have to kill her. You have to try to kill Haru within like 24 hours, and if you fail, you basically get like expelled. Though there's a part with the ending that kind of confuses me a little bit that I think kind of throws that entire thing out the window. But and of course the teacher's like, why do I keep losing all these students? But and some of them actually die too. So, or do they? I'm just gonna pretend that I totally didn't forget that a certain something with the ending, but I don't know. It's based on a manga that's apparently ongoing, and I'm tempted to read the manga, but yeah. So that's basically the story, and like it's one of those kind of series where like each character kind of has like their moment, and they go into like the character's backstory and whatnot, as well as talk about their expertise and whatnot. Like the last opponent that Azuma has is like this rich girl, and she wants to have like a tea party with Haru and whatnot. And they do a thing where like, it turns out she has like mechanical like arms and legs, so she actually is like a pretty good fist fighter. And Haru's actually the one who kills her, which I found interesting. I say keep in mind when you're just gonna have to either watch it yourself or listen to the review, because I don't know. But Haru's the one who defeats the chick. I don't remember her name. One of the two-parters was against this one chick named Isuke, who has a guy's name, and that's a brought Haru's like, why are you named Isuke? That sounds like a boy's name. And this is also, for those who have watched Akuma no Men, which is actually the anime that made me really decide to go ahead and watch this show. I watched that and I'm like, oh, that's funny. And they make that same joke. I like it when a bridge series actually kind of poke fun at the source material and try to be accurate that way. Except Isuke was called Mark in that, I think. And Haru was Dylan, but I think they called Neo Jesus as well. But and with Isuke, like, it's revealed that, like, she is raised by two gay men. So I guess that's the extra homosexuality for those who need more. They don't show too much, like, sexy stuff unless you count, like, just seeing the girls in, like, their bikinis or whatever in, like, the swimming episode. With, like, this one girl who, is actually, like, she's really old, but she has, like, this disease or something where she can't age or something, or curse or whatever. And she makes the assassination attempt more interesting. It's like she attaches a bomb to Haru's neck, and they have to, like, find, like, clues on, like, the passcode to decode it and whatnot. And it's more like a game. All the other ones, they really just try to just straight up kill her. Let's see what else. Isuke does come. I think I mentioned Isuke comes back for a two-parter, because the first time she makes her attempt, like, it's thwarted, but Azuma doesn't kill her, because it turns out that Azuma, even though she's a very skilled assassin, she's actually never killed anybody, because she keeps, like, her aunt was all like, whenever you have the urge to kill, think about this thingamahoosit, this cabin, and it won't kill you, or you won't kill anymore. Because Azuma's backstory is that she's part of the prestigious assassin family, and after she was born, her mom was like, I don't want her to be an assassin. Here, aunt, you take her. And it was like, okay. But grandma came in, and grandma was all like, no, give me my granddaughter. I'm going to make her assassin. I'm assassin the fuck out of her. And yes, I'm saying assassin and not assassin. I'm trying to be funny. But, so that's her backstory. And Haru has one as well. She has a bunch of scars on her body. I don't remember the big twist with that. She does have a bigger twist, but, And there's this one chick who, like, she wants to be an assassin, but she's just not very good. So she's actually beaten pretty easily. And she's like, I just wanted to be an assassin. I wanted to assassin real bad. And it just kind of, they do a thing with that. I'll get to the ending in a bit. I actually have a bit of a beef with that. But, so yeah, that's like the structure of it. There are other different events, and I was constantly trying to find like shoujo-ai tropes in this. Like, the school setting, that's one technically. I guess boarding school as well. Like I said, this one has a bit more to it than just like a shoujo-ai. Though I do remember it being classified as like a shoujo-ai or a lesbian show, and you know how I am with my lesbians and my school uniforms. Speaking of which, I kind of like the way the uniforms were done in this. As you can see, like with the three girls you see, you know, Neo, Azuma, and Haru, they all wear like different stuff. Like, I like Neo's in particular. It's kind of hard to see, but like her jacket is actually short sleeved, and she wears a long sleeve blouse, and I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of cool and stylish. And of course, Azuma, you know, has like just her short sleeve shirt and tie and skirt. And I found there was one scene that I found kind of funny where like she, you know, obviously she wears her tie pretty loose, but then I saw like one scene where like she wasn't wearing the tie. I just found it kind of funny because it's just like, you know, her business quote unquote outfit is just basically just wearing the tie, and I'm just like, is that? It's like such a minor thing. I feel like a potentially lesbian Gust RPG that I'll talk about in the future will do a thing like that, but that's not important. Basically, like, her casual clothes was just her uniform, but without the tie. I don't know. Several of the other uniforms were cute as well. This one little girl, she kind of wore more of like a. There were two characters who didn't really wear a uniform. Per se, I guess technically three, though. It was more like with a third girl. It's that rich chick. Like, she was. I'd argue it's more like going to like a prestigious private school, like a rich kid private school that doesn't require a uniform, but you have to dress up. One of those kind of things. And Isuke, she didn't wear a uniform. I got the impression with her that was more of a public school thing. Like, I personally think Isuke would go to public school. That's kind of the impression I got. And this little girl as well. She, who's like paired up with this red-haired chick who wears a more masculine sort of jumpsuit like uniform. This other little girl, she basically just wears like a dress and a sweater. So it's like, I don't know. It's more like, I guess like elementary school kind of fare. Like, I'm pretty sure in Japan there are some private schools for elementary schoolers that where they actually wear uniforms. But that's one thing I liked about it. And I feel like when I eventually talk about Danganronpa, I think I talked about it in the last Wheneverly update, and by last I mean final, where I talked about the idea like they are all kind of wearing uniforms, but it's all like it's like stylized, and I thought that was kind of cool. I actually kind of like that approach to character designs, because it's a way of keeping the whole uniform thing, but it's also kind of giving characters a bit more personality. Of course, with stories, you can tend to find little details in their clothing and like just general appearance that sort of like that sort of gives off little details about their personality anyway. So the uniform idea doesn't necessarily matter, but again, it was nice to kind of see the uniform differences, and the character designs are nice too. Like, as you see, Azuma has like the blue hair and like the sort of the dead eyes. A lot of the assassins have sort of like that like tiny pupil eyes to show that they're crazy. They don't value human life. And as you can see, friggin' Haru, she has like normal style eyes, but Yeah. Other than that, I mean, voice acting was fine. The theme song was nice. I liked how with the ending. Um, I don't think I actually finished my thought about the shoujo ai tropes, but I'll get to that in a minute. The ending theme songs, it was character specific. It was almost like they had everyone record character songs, and they end up becoming insert songs, or I guess image songs is like the. I just call them character songs because that's really what they are. You know, they're just songs about the character, sometimes even sung in character. Um, the one for the final episode, I think, was sung by Haru and Azuma's voice actresses, and they showed like multiple characters. I think that probably if this show didn't have, you know, character specific ending theme songs, I feel like that last one in the final episode would have been like the one. Um, but that's just me. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, the shoujo ai trope. So like I say, you know, the school setting, sort of the you could almost say love at first sight. They put a play on that, with Haru in particular, but I don't know if that's a trope. I guess like the interact. I don't fucking know. One thing that I did notice pretty quickly was the school play. Like that's a given. The school play, in my opinion, is like a Yuri slash shoujo ai slash lesbian Japanese anime storyline trope. You know, the whole like, they love each other so much you can really feel their passion. Oh, and they're kissing. Like, oh, they're really macking on each other's faces. They have such strong passion. It's like they're actually lovers. Spoiler alert, they are. You know. They do a twist on it though, and that the Azuma and the chick who plays like Romeo or whatever. I don't remember her name. I think it's like Chitaru. I think her name's Chitaru. Chitaru. They go fight, and they do. It's interesting how that with that, and of course since it's Romeo and Juliet, they both basically commit suicide. Now the little girl, not Azuma, that episode, the play episode was it was about a Chitaru and the little girl who apparently killed Chitaru's like mentor or something. So they do a thing about that, and they both kill themselves. Chitaru drinks poison, and the little girl like basically like takes her dagger, or takes Chitaru's dagger and like thrusts it inside her, not her vagina, her chest. To get your mind out of the gutter. And so that was really the only like trope I noticed, besides like just general setting things, and obviously there is a kissing scene between Azuma and Haru, but it's more like, because like she's in like a little cage. She's in like a cage that it's like underwater, and she'll drown. But then like Haru like goes up and like she kisses her. She kisses Azuma. It's she's trying to like save her breath, you know, or give her oxygen and whatnot. So it's still a kiss. I mean, like, come on. But yeah. And so near the end, it turns out, after Azuma has basically defeated all the other assassins except for Neo, though she both counts and doesn't count in a way. It turns out that it's revealed that Haru has like this special power that she can willingly or not make people do her bidding by like mentally seducing them and making the person like her. And Azuma gets upset about that because she feels like she's worried that Haru may have manipulated her, instead of like, because initially like Haru, like Azuma's convinced to be Haru's protector because like just by talking to her and like kind of getting into her mind a little bit. Like, it's a decision she makes on her own, and of course it's off. You know, that's sort of Azuma's reasoning behind being all like, no, I'm not actually being manipulated by Haru. I made this choice myself. And they do. I don't remember the exact reasoning, but they do this thing where it's like, I can't be affected by Haru because I could kill her if I really wanted to. And she ends up stabbing her at the end. Because Neo, turns out she was gonna, like, she was playing the group as well. She was waiting until, like, Azuma was left. Probably by observing as well, she probably picked up on the fact that Azuma wasn't able to kill anybody. She gets rid of that pretty quickly, and Neo turns herself into Azuma, like, using her, like, magic, because she comes from a family line that's of, like, black magic people, and so that's, like, her thing. And she's shown showering with, like, all these, like, tattoos all over her body. Like, she looks like a fucking tiger. Wow. But and so that kind of happens, and so Azuma, like, she's been like, or Neo's gonna be like, I'm gonna turn myself into Azuma and kill Haru, and she'll be all like, why? And, like, lol. She gets a katana. But then the real Azuma comes up, and I was expecting them to do a thing where it's like, oh, which one's the real Azuma? But they don't. Like, the real Azuma defeats Neo, and then it becomes like I don't remember why, but, like, Haru, like, starts charging at I think what actually happens is she gets confused. Haru gets confused, and so she decides to, like, grab a knife and, like, kill Azuma, because in her mind, she's probably thinking it's the fake who just killed the real one. There are some clues, though. And there's also visual evidence, like, you can tell. And I mean, obviously the visual evidence is probably so that the viewer can follow, or so the viewer can follow if they want to, or if they can recognize it. But it turns out Azuma, she just stabs Haru, and she gets upset, and she starts crying. Azuma's whole thing is, like, she doesn't show emotion, and this final scene is, like, where she actually starts to show emotion. And then with this whole assassination thing, the winner who kills Haru gets anything they want, and it's interesting to see some of the characters, like, motivation. Azuma, it's implied she wanted to be with Haru, but obviously since Haru is quote unquote dead, she can't do that. And, like, when the head mistress of, like, the school is like, okay, so what do you want, Azuma? Azuma doesn't say anything. He's like, no, well, you can just tell me when you need it. And Azuma gets on her knees, and she's all like, the one thing I wanted is impossible. Now here's where it gets kind of weird, and in my opinion, not as good. Turns out Haru survived. Not only that, turns out everybody survived. And it's at Haru, like, goes to, like, this graduation thing. Like, she graduates from high school. And I was like, I guess they're seniors. I guess that's the big thing there. Like, they're high school seniors. I don't know. And, like, she's the only one there. And it's kind of funny because they do, like, the whole singing thing. And so she's the only one who has to sing. And then they take this time to show what all the other characters are doing. Like, Chitaru, she's recuperating from the poison, while the little girl's being like, I'm sorry, are you mad at me? It's like, I can't be mad at you. And the robot girl, the rich robot girl, she apparently gets, like, real limbs, and she decides she doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. The chick who wasn't very good at being an assassin, she actually becomes an assassin. Thought that was kind of cool. Neo, I forget what she does. And apparently Azuma's expelled because she failed. I'm just like, what the fuck? I guess technically all the other characters were expelled, but at the same time, when Haru gets her diploma and, like, her graduation certificate or whatever, everyone else got one too. And she's like, oh, can I take these? I want to give them to my friends. My friends. She does, and Haru's, like, seen, or not Haru, Azuma's seen texting on her phone. She, throughout the story, she's given, like, constant, like, riddles via text. And, of course, the big twist there is that, like, her master, or, like, mentor or whatever, was trying to get her to think for herself. Because Azuma, her whole thing is, like, she's just kind of, like, doing whatever. kind of like how in Berserk Guts is like, I'm not gonna think about anything. I'm just going to kill. It's sort of like that. Like Asuma's just kind of just doing things on autopilot. And the thing that her master was trying to teach, the guy, her like agent or whatever, like her boss, the thing that her boss is trying to teach her is to kind of make her own decisions. And I feel like this is where the story got kind of bad, because it's like, okay, so none of them died. It's like it felt like everything was just kind of pointless. Like, okay, so what was pointless with the whole? I mean, I know happy endings, and I'm glad it had a happy ending, but I feel like I'm kind of confused, because it's just like they just kind of show all these characters. I would have liked to know sort of like what happened. Like, it made me want to know what happened. And with Azuma, like, I wanted to like, wait, what happened to her? Like, why'd she get expelled? I learned that on fucking Wikipedia because I was looking at more information about this shit, and I'm like, wait, what? She got expelled? Yet she is being given a diploma, as is everyone else. And the last scene is just Azuma and Haru, like, locking arms because they're lesbian dating now. And they're going to go give all their friends, quote unquote, their diplomas. So I'm just like, okay. I mean, again, this is based on a manga that's ongoing. I think it's only like 3 volumes, so I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I'm tempted to pick up the manga because I feel like I'd like to know what the actual real like story is going to be. Though obviously, since it's ongoing, it's not going to finish anytime soon. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. Overall, I liked it. I don't know if I'd call it a lesbian anime or a shoujo or yuri or whatever, because I feel like it doesn't really have enough to really be called that. I feel like it's just a friggin' anime that happens to have like lesbians in it. It's like that'd be like calling Dragon Ball Z, or that'd be like calling Dragon Ball a gay anime because General Blue's gay. It's like it's just kind of like a minor thing. I mean, or it's just like the romance part of the story. Like, it just happens to be between 2 girls. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it in the manga, and maybe that's the reason why it's classified as a yuri. But it was decent. With besides the ending, I understand there's an OVA that I'll probably try to watch, but yeah, I liked it. Like I said before, Funimation just dubbed it, and it's out on DVD and Blu-ray now. I might pick it up, maybe watch the series dubbed, maybe show AJ or something. I don't know. It's not very long. It's only 12 episodes, so, and I imagine the dub will probably go on Hulu at some point, probably even on the Funimation website. But yeah, that's really all I had to say on this show. Again, I liked it, and I'm glad to have it off my back burner. I'm glad I was able to watch it and whatnot. It was good. If you like your actiony schoolgirl shows, then this is definitely a show for you. But yeah, this is Flamser on aka YouTube Tasuke signing out. See you later.